As the Corporate Affairs Commission clamped down on point-of-sale operators POS in Nigeria to register their businesses, the clock is ticking. On the program, we'll be exploring the implications of this deadline and what it means for the POS operators, merchants, and consumers. Nigeria Today will be discussing the reasons behind the Corporate Affairs Commission's directive, the benefits of the registration, and the consequences of non-compliance for POS operators or merchants. Thanks for joining us. I am Eucharia Clinton.
Today I'm an economist.
With me in the studio to discuss the deadline for the POS, for the registration, the CAC registration for the POS operator is Farouk Abdullahi. He's a financial expert and a public affairs analyst. It's a pleasure to have you on Nigeria
Thank you,
Today.
Eucharia. It's always my pleasure. Also
with us today for this conversation, but via Zoom, is Haniel Jafaru. He's an IT and a cybersecurity expert. It's a pleasure to have you on Nigeria Today, Haniel. Okay, Haniel, I think you should unmute your audio so that we can hear you, because we didn't really hear you there. Well, meanwhile, I'll come back to you when that is done. So, talk to us, Farouk. What do you feel? What's the perception? Of course, for this deadline that's been given, the registration for POS operators, some are for, some are against. So tell us, where are you? Which of the divide are you, for or against?
Well, I am for, not against.
Okay.
Because the whole idea revolves around strengthening the financial system. And if you look at the premise at which this development, it is important that there is absolute compliance in that. And secondly, if you look at, based on the regulations by the central bank, the POS point of sales terminals are also an agent, of the financial institution where most of these payments takes place. So by virtue of that, it is also required that they have also legal recognition before they could, operate. So this sums up to be part of, the primary reasons why it is important that these businesses to be registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, owing also, to the large number of transactions that, is being carried out by POS, terminals on a daily basis. They do transactions in billions of naira daily. So therefore, it is important that, terminals, it's good for individuals, it's good for corporate organizations, and it is good for, financial institutions, because it comes with a whole lot of, benefit. Security-wise, it is good because
we'll come back to that. We'll want to know the benefits, really. But before then, let's hear from Haniel. Haniel Jafaru, IT and cybersecurity expert. You're welcome to Nigeria Today.
Thank you so much for having me, Kure.
Okay, Haniel, we're talking about the deadline for POS operators being given by the the CAC for the CAC registration. Now, Farouk had said, okay, it's a welcome development. So I want to get your perspective before I go over to other questions. So what do you think about this the registration of the POS operators, the registering a company for the...
It helps in sanitizing the cyberspace, the digital space, because that's usually where the funds are being exchanged. So for me, I think it's a welcome development, and it's something that I strongly applaud the agency for making this possibility for these operators.
Thank you very much, Haniel. Now, Farouk, you were talking about the benefits. So I want you to highlight the benefit and what effect it will have on national security. Because you mentioned security. Because you mentioned security earlier on.
Yes. Well, the benefit is quite enormous. First and foremost, the policy, I would say, is policy-driven. and it's policy driven in favor of national interest, including national, security. If you look at the whole idea of national security around, financial transaction or cyber crimes or whatnot, it is predicated around traceability. Once transactions are not being able to be traced, it creates huge problems. And, thank God for the Office of the National Security Advisor under the leadership of Malam Nuhu Ribadu for strengthening, the financial regulatory agencies in a way that there is stronger coordination between, financial crime agencies like the EFCC, NFIUs, the Nigerian Police Force, in terms of strengthening the national payment architecture, because at the heart of it, POS terminals are predominantly in areas that are not having full access to the structured banking system, and billions of transactions takes place under the informal aspect. And if there is no traceability in these transactions, it means that individuals can be scammed. It means that fraudsters, cyber security threat will become more prominent, because the system is not rigorous enough to trace the flow of transactions and all of that. Anybody can just get a phone number registered and get a POS machine and be in the POS business without having without the government having full information or record about it. So it's really bad, and they can use that to have access to personal information of customers and perpetrate other cyber crimes and whatnot. So I feel security agencies are doing pretty well, the NFIU, the EFC especially, and the Department of...
I'll have to halt you here, okay, so that you tell us more of that. Okay. I know you have a lot to talk about that, Yeah. But let's bring in Haniel here. Haniel, you talked about, of course, even Farouk mentioned it, that with the CAC registration it's possible to trace, fraudulent activities. But then again, you would agree with me that some CAC registered companies have been implicated in some fraudulent dealings over time. So how can this registration be used as an effective fraud preventive tool?
Okay, so one of the major challenges of the when the need arises, but more importantly, now we have a person that owns a device, and every transaction that happens within that device, the person that owns that device would be held accountable for those transactions. So if it's a fraudulent transaction, if it's a criminal transaction, whatsoever transaction it is, there is somebody that will be held responsible. And now it makes it easier for POS operators to now guide their terminal well insider threats. Yeah, there's just need for the agency or the commission itself to carry out due diligence when it has to do with its staff, put in the necessary measures to be able to address issues that has to do with insider threats. And once they be able to cover all O's and dot all T's, dot all I's, cross all T's that has to do with insider threat, it makes it easier for us to be able to sanitize the system. And that's for me.
Okay, thank you very much, Haniel. We'll take a breather here. This conversation continues later.
Implementation of the ruling is also dependent on another aspect or another arm of government.
Nowhere in the world will allow, under digital economy, for banks not to be dispensing domestic currency in that economy.
what will make this one different?
We want to know what they do as occupation. All of these are attributes that our questions have been designed to investigate.
In a few days to come, you see that we are all around their own crannies and everywhere in Nigeria, telling people to cooperate.
Welcome to Nigeria Today.
Welcome back. This is still Nigeria Today, and we're looking at the deadline for CAC registration for POS operators. I have two gentlemen, one via Zoom and, of course, one here in the studio. Now, Farouk, of course, Hanil has mentioned quite a lot. Earlier on, we wanted to find out if, you know, the CAC, how it can become an effective, you know, fraud preventive tool. But again, you will agree with me that these criminals are becoming very brazen, very, very bold, using POS, like I say, point of sale machines to go for their nefarious activities. They come to steal and all of that. So how will this registration help the Office of the National Security Advisor to checkmate these fraudulent activities, terrorism, and, you know, look at the improving national security generally?
Well, I would say that one of the greatest reforms under the Office of the National Security Advisor, Malam Nur Rabadu, is the shift towards intelligence-driven operations. And by virtue of that, it means that there should be traceability in most or all of the financial transactions that are taking place, because economic security is equated to national security. So at the heart of what the national security architecture is doing in combating, you know, terrorism activities, you know, sponsoring of, you know, all sort of, you know, social and economic vices, you know, intelligence gathering is important. And this POS development, you know, is in tandem with the national security policy. So the NSS office it cannot operate if there is no movement of money, either digitally or physically. You understand? Cybercrime, the whole issue around it is to ensure that there is illicit movement of money, theft and all of that. Money laundering also, which is not good, which also is cancerous to national security, is also achieved through all of these weaknesses, you know, in terms of the loopholes in financial transactions. And at the heart of transactions that are taking place in Nigeria, we must give credit to the POS transaction. So this development is aligning strongly with the national security strategies under the Office of the National Security Advisor. So definitely we would say that they are doing pretty well, and this development is a welcome development to Nigerians. Now I will feel safe in any part of the country in few months to come to utilize a POS machine, because I know the information on my card that I trusted on the machine can be traced to locations. And I think there was a recent act or development that was passed by the central bank, whereby going forward there would be real-time, you know, mapping of POS machines.
Yes,
POS
that is also
yes.
The deadline is very soon too. And of course, also let's also talk about the consumers themselves. We, the people that go to collect money, sometimes you go and they'll tell you, okay, after using your ATM, your card, money is, you are debited, money is removed from your account, and eventually you don't get, they will tell you they didn't get it in their own